Good morning. You've heard a lot about the Vietnamese boat people this week. You heard Collins and his views, Doug that is. You heard Sven Robinson, who didn't want to give me his views. He's the NDP MP. You heard Flora MacDonald, the Minister of External Affairs, who laid down, apparently accurately, the outside ground rules for the numbers of boat people coming into Canada this year. Today you're going to meet the boat people again, but this time you will meet a family of Vietnamese boat people now in Vancouver. There they are, 12 of them, and they're going to be in the studio. Here beside me are the Yips, all 12 of them, Vietnamese boat people. And you're going to meet them with my excellent command of Chinese. We shall do a really exploratory interview of Vietnamese too, of course, with my friends the Yips, the boat people. With me in the studio too this morning is Pastor Lee of the Mennonite Refugee Resettlement Center. Is that right, Pastor?
Yeah, from Chinese Mennonite Church.
Chinese Mennonite Church. And you're going to act as my official interpreter. Is that correct?
I try.
But first this morning, we're going to see Brian with a report of the boat people in their new homes in Vancouver.
For various political reasons and had to resettle in various parts of the world. Well, hundreds of families came to Vancouver, a good number of them here in Chinatown. Lots of stories about the resettlement of those families, but I don't think there's one quite as touching as the one we're about to tell you. 12 people, all in the same family, 3 generations. They got here in 3 different directions at 3 different times. But the happy part about it, they're settled together now under one roof in a tiny little house here in Chinatown.
These are the 12 members of the Deep family as they were in front of their Saigon grocery store before the communist takeover. Grandfather, grandmother, 2 sons, 2 daughters, and 6 grandchildren. And this is where the only surviving members of that family unit lived, in a Saigon apartment block. Then came the horrors of their plight to get away from the communist regime. And last November, 6 members of the family found themselves with hundreds of others aboard a huge freighter, forced out in the China Sea without a country. The family unit was split up. The other 6 divided into refugee camps. It was the Mennonite Church and Pastor Stephen Lee who are responsible for bringing the family together again in Canada.
Each family, they have 12 people in that family. They make the 3 trips. First trip is the grandpa and auntie and uncle with the 3 and 2 grandchildren. They came out from Vietnam by the boat, the Hai Hong boat, last November, and Canada picked up 600 from that boat. And the second trip is the grandma and father, mother, and 3 grandchildren. They escaped from Vietnam, went to Bidong Island in Malaysia. And the last group is grandchildren. He escaped from Vietnam to Hong Kong. I think they pay over 10 ounces for one person.
10 ounces of gold for one person.
Yes.
So that's over $3,000 a piece.
Well, right now you know that.
With the price of gold
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
2 family members in the first group of 6 brought to Canada are working in Chinatown. New Deep, along with 2 other Vietnamese refugees, are working at Maxim's Bakery. Their language and culture easily fits in with the Chinese style of life. Her nephew, Hui Hui, attends school classes in the day and works evenings at the Shaw Chinese Theater. Between the 2 of them, they are able to support the first 6 family members who came here in November. 10-year-old Anna is in special English classes at Strathcona Elementary.
61. They put an old hat on his head and a pie into his mouth. Then they threw snowballs at him. Pretty soon, a little dog came along and barked. Barked at the snowman. The boys laughed.
Everybody. D. G.
Anna's younger sister, Annie, hasn't been here quite as long as her sister, and the special English classes for her are still at the elementary level.
H. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Tap side. Very good. Okay. Could you erase the chalkboard, please? Erase the chalkboard. Gently. Could you erase the chalkboard, please? Let Annie first, then you can do it.
6-year-old Kim doesn't understand any English at all, and because of the tremendous overflow of special English classes, she's with regular learners.
And who was our champion? 13. Who had 13 this morning? All right, Sarah, you go.
Kim.
9.
All 12 of the refugees live in this tiny Chinatown duplex. Half of them support themselves. The other half are still looking for work and on government assistance. For most families, 6 at the dinner table would be more than enough. But every night, in this family, there are a dozen happy faces, all grateful to be here.
And there is a 13th person here, 14 counting me, and that is Pastor Lee of the Chinese Mennonite Church. Now, tell me, these people were all brought to Canada under the sponsorship of the Chinese Mennonite Church, is that right?
No,
Tell me right.
these people is sponsored by the government,
Yeah.
but they escape, divide 3 groups. The Canada, they help them to get together in Vancouver in different times. The first group is come last November. Yeah, second group is come May, and third group come from recently.
And they're all living in that one little house that
Yes.
Brian showed us on the film just now.
Yes.
Now, tell me about the Chinese Mennonite Church's involvement in this resettlement program. Do you take those brought in by the government and supervise them and help them and do all the kind of liaison with the community for them?
Yes, and we also sponsor the refugee by Mennonite churches across Canada. Up to now, across Canada, Mennonite churches sponsor over 2,000 refugees now.
Now, over 2,000 already.
Yeah.
And you're bringing in more from Laos and Thailand.
Yeah, right.
There's a young man here we might be able to get on the program, we might not be able to get on the program.
Yeah.
How are they settling down, Pastor Lee? How are these people? The Deep, is it Diep in Vietnamese?
Well, Vietnamese deep and Chinese yip.
Vietnamese Deep, Chinese Yip.
Yeah,
For
right.
the sake of simplicity, we'll call them the Yip family.
I mean, yeah, right.
How do you think they're settling down?
Well, they settle very well, and 2 of them already got a job.
That's the bakery people.
Yeah, bakery, and 1 work in the theater.
Uh-huh. And tell me, how long do you think it will be before they are kind of on their own feet as a family unit? How long will it take them to settle down?
Well, the first group, 5 of them already become self-supporting now.
Mm-hmm.
So they really like to find a job. If your station like to hire one of a young man, he willing to work here.
That's a very good pitch, Pastor. I'll tell you that. I hope they're listening upstairs.
Yeah.
Now, apart from that, though, what difficulties have they encountered since they came here? Or have you managed to avoid all difficulties?
Well, difficulties, I think, is the language problem. But I think most of them, they take the English courses.
Has their standard of living not dropped considerably since they came to Canada?
Well, they came to Canada is the need to adjust their life, because before they're in Vietnam, they are very rich people.
This was in Saigon?
Yes.
And they were they rich, or were they just kind of middle class?
Well, I think it's on the top.
On the top.
Yeah.
What happened to all their possessions and goods?
Well, all the take over by the government. They left 2 cars and a big apartment. And the government said, you go, we keep this.
And what did they have to pay? I think Brian covered it, but I want to stress it. What did they have to pay to get to get their exit visas?
Well, they get 10 ounces gold for each person.
So that would be at that time maybe $2,500 each.
each. But the older grandson, he escaped 3 times. He paid over 50 ounces gold.
For one permit.
Yeah, is that
Harry.
yeah.
I don't know if we've got a camera on Harry or not. I'll talk to Harry later about
Yeah.
that. 50 ounces of gold.
Yeah.
Did they have the gold saved or did they sell their possessions to buy?
Well, most of Vietnamese they keep the gold at home. Is there for protection, inflation in Vietnam.
In other words, the money is not in
Not
the bank. The
yeah.
money is kept in gold coinage or in gold itself. It's a sad story, isn't it?
Yes.
How about you? How long have you been in Canada, Pastor?
Well, I escaped from mainland China 15 years ago. In 1964, I swam 7 hours to escape from the communist China to Hong Kong. And when I was in Hong Kong, the Mennonite Church support me go to the Bible seminary. And I got a training in Hong Kong, and they sent me over, come to Canada. Right now, I've become Chinese Mennonite Church. I'm a pastor of their church right now. Mm-hmm. And I know the Mennonite people, most of them, they came from Russia. Mm-hmm. They are refugees too. So they are very happy to help.
Maybe this is why they understand the problem.
Yeah, right.
This may seem a silly question, Pastor, but these people, the deeps, the yips, deep, yip, deep,
Yeah.
they are not Mennonite, of course.
No.
They're not Mennonite.
Yeah.
So how many families are you actually looking after for the government just now?
Well, we just help, we can help, try our best. But our most job is to do some promotion among the churches, encourage them to sponsor more refugees come over. And
for everyone sponsored by the government, by people like you or individuals, one is sponsored by the government.
Yeah, right.
I think they've got now to 14,000 individual or group sponsorships, which means now a total of 28,000 already.
Yeah.
Stay there, Pastor Lee, because I want to talk to the Yip family, and you will help me, although I'm going to try it myself to begin with after Anna, after this break. After this break. Lee, you again talk. Name. Toda. Now we're going to talk to the Yip family. And I have 2 or 3 interpreters, but first I'm going to start with my special commercial announcer. What is your name?
My name is Anna,
How old are you?
12 years old,
How long have you been at school in Canada?
6 months.
6 months. You speak very well.
Yes,
Can you sing any songs?
no,
No. You sing any Vietnamese songs? No. How do you like Canada?
well, I came to Canada, I'm happy, very happy.
That's very nice. Now, this is your little sister? Isn't it?
Yes.
What is her name?
Her name is Annie.
You are Anna, she is Annie.
Yes,
How old is Annie?
she is 9 years old.
9.
Yeah,
I forgot to ask you how old you were. How old are you?
I'm 12.
You're 12.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I'm 12 years old.
Say 12.
12.
12.
12.
12.
12.
Very good. Now, this is your little brother, isn't it?
Yes.
Kim?
Kim.
Kim. Seal. 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 Ah, seal. Seal. What does seal mean?
Seal.
What does it mean in English?
Happy.
Happy.
Yeah.
Could it mean smile?
Uh-huh.
Smile. Seal, 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 seal. Then next, who's next to Kim? Tell me who's next to Kim sitting on the riser.
It's uncle.
That's your uncle.
Yeah.
And his name is Toda.
Toilet.
Tolak Yip.
Huh.
And then next, oh, here's a lady I can speak to. Can I cross in front? We'll look clumsy, but don't let it bother you. Here is Lee.
My name is Lư Diệp.
Lee Yip. Can I, are you married?
I am single.
Oh, oh, still, how old are you?
I am 28.
Again?
28.
28.
28.
You don't look 28, you only look 18. Hey, you can understand me in that. Now, back again, crawl across the floor, and I'll go up the back. Here is the father and mother, Mr. Yip.
Yeah.
How do you do?
Well, thank you.
Very well, thank you. And this is Mrs. Yip. Hello, Mrs. Yip.
Well, yeah.
Her name is?
She is Moi Yip.
Moi Yip.
Yeah.
Your wife.
Yeah.
And here it's grandmother. Hello, grandma. Hello. See you. And there is grandpa, but she is the grandmother on the maternal side, and he is the grandfather on the fraternal side. Isn't that right, Pastor Lee? Yeah. Now, I'm going to walk right round the back, get out of sight for a minute, just so you won't see me. Here, how old is Seong? Seong, is that right? Pastor, ask him how old he is.
18 years old.
18.
Say in English, I am 18.
18.
Say, I am 18.
I am 18.
Louder, I am 18.
I am 18.
Very good. This is Harry.
Harry, yes.
How old is Harry?
I'm 19 years old.
19. Are you working, Harry?
Yes, I'm.
What do you do, Harry?
I don't know what, right?
Is he
I
working
just work at the theater.
at the tailor shop?
Yeah.
Theater.
At the theater? Oh, yes, I saw you on Brian's film, taking the tickets at the theater. 19. This gentleman doesn't belong here. I'll come back to him in a moment. And here is Lily.
Yeah.
Is Lily the eldest child, Pastor?
Yes.
How old are you, Lily?
I am 22 years old.
How long have you now been in Canada, Lily?
I come Canada
6 months ago.
6 months ago.
She came with the first section of the family, is that correct? Pastor?
Yes.
She came with the first section of the family. Who came first, Pastor?
Grandpa
Grandpa,
and grandma
Grandma,
and the oldest.
Harry,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Lily.
Yeah.
And Lily. And this gentleman, his name is David
Wong.
Davy Wong. Are you Vancouver born, Davy?
Yeah.
No.
Where from?
Where I come from Vietnam.
When?
Since 3 months.
3 months ago.
Okay.
Do you like Canada?
Yes,
I am
I-
nice.
Do you like Canada, Lily?
Yes, I am nice. I am very, very nice.
Very, very what?
Like.
Oh, she is very, very like.
Yeah.
You are very, very like. You are all very, very like. See you. What's the break? Well, anything else I can do with the kids? I don't think so. Except Kim. Say Kim. Come on. Oh, he's shy. Anna, thank you very much. You've been a very good interpreter for me this morning.
Yes.
Now I want you to say, I'm going to an early break. Webster will be back in 2 minutes.
Webster will be back in 2 minutes.
Hooray! Take the break.
Not be going over there again?
No, but I want lots of shots of them.
Okay.
Let's make sure we have a camera on them, or can we do?
Okay, that means then the lights stay up then, eh?
Yeah, leave the lights up. Why not? That was very good.
And through our center, we already give the 300 refugee names to the church's sponsor.
Good. Now this, by the way, just to make myself perfectly clear, is not an emotional pitch all the way along for the Vietnamese boat people. But what it is, it's to let you see what a false impression you often get of people when you don't meet them in the flesh laughing and smiling and obviously so happy to be in this country, which is why I went to the trouble this week to have a hammer at Collins on the subject, who of course is away out on one side, and Robinson is far out in his own different way. But I was pleased yesterday when Flora MacDonald made it quite clear that to calm the fears of people, that the refugee numbers coming into the country will be a maximum this year of 140,000, of immigrants coming in will be 140,000. That's 100,000 quota set by the provinces and the federal government together, plus 40,000 additional for the specific cause of the basic Vietnamese boat people refugees. Now obviously this is something that must be done. You must, at least as a nation like Canada, make a gesture of compassion. We can't hope to solve the whole problem or take every refugee. That's obviously quite out of the question. The other point that Flora MacDonald made clear yesterday under my questioning was that the National Coalition is wrong when they say that the normal family reunification applies to everybody and anybody. Ipso facto, 50,000 Vietnamese, 650,000 relatives. The upper limits still apply on integration into the society. But what really staggered me yesterday was the information from Flora that the individual and group sponsorships have already reached 14,000. That's a total of 28 on a one-on-one basis. And obviously is going to reach the top, if not go over it a little bit. Have you found any resentment to the Vietnamese boat people, Pastor? Any resentment, any anger among Canadians?
Well, some Canadians, they say we don't like this kind of people, but we find that most of these people is very good citizens.
Yeah, they work very hard, which is why I wanted to show a family in the studio this morning, grandmother, grandfather, mother, father, aunts, uncles, children, and boyfriend, David Wong, who slipped into the picture one way or another. Now, what kind of response have you had for sponsorship applications through your refugee center?
Well, we do some promotion among the churches and ask them to sponsor more refugees. If they like to sponsor the refugee, and they can come to our center to pick up the refugee name and the picture and pick up what they want. We have a window.
Where would these refugees now be?
Well, in every refugee camp from Malaysia, from Indonesia.
These people are in the Lao refugee camp in Ubon, Thailand.
Yeah, from Thailand.
Well, what's the phone number?
251-4611.
Have we got it up? 251-4611. Is that just for church groups or is that for anyone?
Well, if any individual, they like to sponsor the refugee, they also can make the donation to us. And we collect the donation. This family, we collect $8,000 and we're going to sponsor them. I just signed the paper yesterday, for this family.
I see.
$8,000, you can bring the one family like that.
It's a lot of money.
Well, if they get a job 2 months, 3 months, you just spend a couple $1,000s.
And guarantee that the Vietnamese family or a Thai family that makes it will pay you back the money, maybe?
No, they don't pay. Wow.
That's my Scotch blood. I'm sorry I asked that question. I put my foot in it. I thought I was making it easier for everybody. 251-4611. Now, is there anything else I want to do with the Yip family? Seal. Seal. Grandma. Good for grandma. Good smile. How many more jobs are needed in this family? Grandpa has a job? No.
No.
Grandma doesn't have a job.
I think father and mother, they need a job.
What does father do?
Usually they run the grocery business in Vietnam, Saigon.
And mother too?
Yeah, mother too, yeah.
What about Lily? She's going to school just now, the good-looking one in the back row.
Yeah.
She going to school?
And married.
She is married?
No, going to.
Going to get married. Harry is working. What about Seung? Is he working? Seung, this side back row. How old is Seung?
18 years old.
18.
Yeah.
Lily is working. Lee Yip is working.
Yeah.
And one of the boys has a handicap. He has a hearing defect.
Yeah, hearing defect.
Hearing defect.
Well, Canada pick up just one family as a union.
That's good.
Yeah,
And they are happy.
yeah,
But you say that you need more sponsors.
yeah.
Well, how do I say thank you very much in Chinese or Vietnamese?
To je.
Toje, 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 toje. And best of luck. Okay, I'll take a break and I'm going to leave them there for a moment, just for a moment. I'm going to do a short piece with the guy from Thailand, wrap it up, do the Kamloops thing, and then the Naked Ape after this break. Pastor Lee successfully twisted my arm during the break to get another spokesman for the refugee problem and the refugee himself on the air. Pastor Lee, introduce me to your friend.
Yeah, this is my friend Tom Singh.
Tom Singh.
My name's Longside Kam Singh.
Your English is good. Is it?
Little bit.
Give me your story. Tell me what you want to say.
First of all, I would like to thank for the government. They have helped more the refugees come to Canada. And especially I have to thank for the God too. And they help our family safety around Canada.
Thank for the God,
Yeah.
he said. Thank
Yeah.
God. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Laos.
Laos. When did you get here?
I get here on May 8th.
How did you get here? Did you come the easy way or the hard way as a boat
It
person?
feel very, very hard for me when I was in the camp. When I was in the camps, I feel very hopeless because most country they accept the refugee. They must have the sponsorship. But for my family, I'm without a relative. So I'm very hopeless. I cannot contact with the outside world. But I'm very lucky. The Canadian government accept my family very generously, accept my families without a sponsorship and arranged by the government.
Let me understand that. Your family is still in the camp.
Yeah, when I was in the camp.
Is the family still in the camp?
His
now-
own family here, but he got older brother, younger brother, is sponsored by Mennonite Church. They are coming, 18 people.
18 people coming.
11 already here in Chilliwack.
Sponsored by the Mennonite Church.
Yeah.
7 more to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell
on the
me,
way to come.
what were conditions like in the camp when you left?
Oh, I have to tell you, when the position in the camps very difficult and very hard life there. I remained there over 2 years there.
You were 2 years in the camp.
Yeah.
Enough food?
No, the food's not enough there. Everything's very short there. And the
Everything's
water
very
difficult.
short.
And the water's not enough, and the clothing and the housing's very, very crowded.
How many refugees in Thailand?
And now the whole Thailand's over 150,000
150,000.
refugees.
Western Europe is taking a total of what, 250,000, is that correct, of all refugees?
Well, I
But
don't.
in my camps, about 50,000.
50,000.
Non-Thai camp,
Nong Khai.
yeah.
So there are 11 of you here and hopefully 7 more coming to complete the unit.
Yeah.
He's a Mennonite too.
No, and arranged by the government.
Arranged by the government.
Yeah.
Sponsored here by the Mennonites.
Yeah.
From Chilliwack.
The Mennonite Church is sponsor my brother's family and my parents' family. Now's already come 11 person come to the Chilliwack.
Do you like it? Do you like this country? Of course you do, but
Yeah, I like very much this country.
what is your trade? What do you do for a living?
Now I got a job. I'm working in the clothing factory
In Vancouver.
in Vancouver. I work at the WH Top Sport factory.
Try that again. WH what?
Top Sport.
WH Top Sport Factory. Pastor Lee, I think we've got about canvassed it this morning. And I want to say thanks to Pastor Lee of the Canadian Mennonite Church and all their work. Tom Song.
Yeah.
Come see.
Grandma, Grandpa, stand up and face the camera. Have you got them on the camera now?
Yeah.
No, I didn't want you all to stand up. Sit down, and thank you very much indeed. Best of luck. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anna, come on over here. Come on over here. Special handshake. Is Anna on camera? Special handshake. for
Mong
Anna.
chỉ có đó.
Thank you very much, Anna. An excellent interpreter. I'll get down to old clothes and porridge after this break. Thanks, folks.